Kia ora, Anna. Welcome to the Dunedin Stories podcast.
Thanks, Bex. Kia ora.
Really lovely to have you here today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. So for the community's purpose, obviously, do you want to just let them know who you are and the organisation that you're representing?
Sure. So my name's Anna Barham. I'm the Managing Director of Balancing Monkey Games, which is a video game development company based in South Dunedin.
Awesome. Balancing Monkey Games.
Yeah.
Where does the name come from, Anna?
So it originally started when my husband, who's been a software developer since he was out of uni, worked for Ian Taylor and ARL, ADI, Education Perfect and so on, he decided that he wanted to make a video game as a hobby project. And so when he started doing this, we had 3 small kids at home. He was working a full-time job. So he was balancing all these things.
Nice.
So he was, and his screen name in all his games is Infinite Monkey. He likes that kind of idea of an infinite number of monkeys.
Yeah.
You know, typing the works of Shakespeare. So he was Infinite Monkey balancing. So he's the original balancing monkey.
I love that. What a wonderful story behind the name.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so game development for you, always part of your career goals in life?
At all. Not even slightly.
Tell us a little bit about that pathway, perhaps. Where did you start out?
Well, I started out doing politics and languages at university. And initially thinking of doing, foreign affairs, joining the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then Sam came along and kind of changed my mind, my direction. So I ended up just sort of working a few different places, had kids, went back to uni again, studied psychology. After having one baby, I decided that I wanted to be super nanny because I thought I knew what to do. And then I had a couple more and realised I didn't know everything. So when I went back to do psychology, I was aiming for clinical psychology. And, we've got a great department here. And I didn't get in. So then I was looking for work. And I had been volunteering at Servants Health Centre while I'd been doing my master's. And at that time, one of the doctors was looking to replace their practice manager who'd suddenly become very ill. And he'd seen me working at the medical centre and bossing them around to get some grants done because I'd done a bit of fundraising work in the past. And so he offered me the position of the practice manager at Dunedin South Medical Centre.
Right.
So I ended up there for 5.5 years.
Wow.
And then after Sam's hobby game became a success and took off, he decided to hire the people that he had contracted to help him out with it to continue working on the game and continue developing it. And he said, I need someone to do the bills and the payroll. I can't do all this and make the game. So when he'd set up the business, I'd already been a partner when I was at the directors of the company from the start. So,
wow.
Yeah, he said, help. And I said, okay.
It's quite an eclectic mix of career pathway opportunities in there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And running a game studio similar to running a health centre?
In some ways, yes, and in some ways very different.
Yeah.
There's still the whole, you're working with people, you're trying to get the best out of people and allow them to work within their strengths so that they're doing the best that they can do and be the best that they can be. However, the financial side of things is a very, very different kettle of fish because in the medical centre you've got money coming in daily from patients, monthly from government subsidies. Whereas in games, the majority of your income from a game, like 60% of all your income from one game will come in the first month of sales.
Wow.
And then it takes 3 to 5 years to develop a game. So you're kind of living off that lump plus the little bits that then trickle in, the long tail.
Hard to do cash flow forecasting.
Very.
Yeah.
Almost impossible.
100%. Understand. Yeah.
Or at least for someone who is, coming into it so green like me.
Yeah.
Hopefully that I'll have a bit of a better handle on it now that we've got a couple, or we've got one under our belt, one nearly there.
Yeah. So what's the game that has launched and is in market now?
So that's called Before We Leave.
Before We Leave.
Yeah. So it's a little city builder game. It's mostly non-violent, except that sometimes there are these giant space whales that will fly past and suck the surface off your planet.
And you have to start again.
You have to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You've got to sort things out.
Yeah.
And then the new game is the sequel to that, where you've actually gone and landed on the back of one of these space whales, and you're building your civilization on the back of the whale while travelling through space, and you learn to communicate with it and learn the history of your peeps and the whales.
And of course, in the gaming industry, you will have customers, users globally, and all from Ōtepoti, Dunedin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How exciting.
It is.
And what is the ecosystem like in Dunedin for a gaming house? And
Dunedin's actually one of the best places to do it, certainly in New Zealand. And I mean, it's the scene is changing a little bit now, but when we started, the Centre of Digital Excellence had just kind of come into being, I think. So that was funded by the Regional Development Fund, Kānoa, funding from the government, specifically for Dunedin. And the body that they set up has been incredibly supportive. So we didn't qualify, or we weren't, when they first had their first rounds of funding, we already had our game out, so we didn't qualify for those kind of seed funding rounds. But we did get funding from them to scale up the studio, which enabled us to hire a couple more staff, move one of them down from Wellington to Dunedin along with her electrician husband.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's what it was about. It's about bringing jobs to Dunedin, growing Dunedin. And now there's, like in our building, there's us, and then just across the hallway there's Atawhai Interactive Studio and Moon Studios, a 4-person and a 2-person team working on their games. And yeah, when we first went to PAX Melbourne, so the big game convention, I think we had 6 teams the first time we went. Second time we went, 20.
Wow.
So what Code has done for the industry in Dunedin is phenomenal. And it's not just money either. They've got experts on tap who you can reach out to anytime for help. They run workshops on pitching and on all the legal things that you need to know, and marketing and, you know, everything. And they connect in, we've gotten connected in with schools and with the Polytech. So we're mentoring students as well. So it's a really interactive, supportive, connected network.
Because the Polytech has actually got a gaming development diploma now, don't they? Yeah. Shout out to, I think, Chanel at the Dunedin City Council for her early mahi in that space. I and Firebrand were a part of that too, and I'm just so proud of what everybody's been able to achieve, and now it's national. Yeah. And but Dunedin certainly has a pretty large stake on that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bumps in the road, anything you want to share with others that maybe are considering getting into the gaming world and maybe building a studio here in Dunedin? There's probably a lot, but...
it's difficult to attract experienced developers here. We can't pay the kind of wages in the game sector that other parts of the tech sector can, and we can't pay the kind of wages that you can get in the States. I personally think we have a much better lifestyle here.
100% we do, yeah.
I was just talking to someone in Auckland yesterday about rush minute in Dunedin, you know.
Yeah, rush minute.
Yeah. You hit the motorway at the wrong time in the morning and you might be stuck for like 15 minutes, but otherwise you're sweet. So, and of course, coming towards the tail end of development, as the kind of how much money we've got left in the bank is running out. I've actually cut my hours for the company and have taken on a second job just to allow us to get...
We do,
that's
100%.
right. Yeah.
However, when it hits the market, it'll be all hands on deck because you achieved that great 60% of your success in the first month. Whew, no pressure.
That's right.
Marketing strategies must be a really big part of this, and alternative ways of reaching a younger audience. You know, it's not a traditional method of marketing, is it?
It's not.
No.
And actually, we ourselves haven't done a lot of our own marketing. With the first game, we self-published to begin with, and we had a deal with the Epic store where we published on Epic exclusively, and then a year later came out to Steam. And my husband at this stage was pretty much doing it by himself, and he hired a PR company to connect in with streamers and so on. Yeah. And one of the things that gave us a big boost was when our game got in front of a German streamer. So Germany is one of our biggest markets because they love strategy games.
Wow.
They love board games. Our game looks like Settlers of Catan, but it looks like a board game. And yeah, we had a big boost in sales from a German streamer.
Wow.
You also need to make sure that you've got a community of players connected to you and who are like selling your game via word of mouth. So again, Sam had done his research and he had set up a Discord community but well before the game launched, and he had like a mini game in there for people to play and come back to. And so they were all like, hey, everybody come and play this game. And then when we were about to hit the Steam store, which is the big store, which has got like, I don't know, millions of games on it. It's quite hard to get discovery. It's hard to get to the top of the queue. But like 6 weeks before we were due, we were approached by Team 17, who are a big publisher in the UK.
Wow.
And they were like, we want to publish your game. And so we did this really fast deal. Normally it takes months to do a publisher deal. We turned it around in like 6 weeks. And so they published it on Steam. And so they did all the marketing, because that's part of your publisher deal. They give you money, they do the marketing, they take a cut.
Fabulous.
So, and then they also got us onto Xbox Game Pass. They helped us, or connected us with a third party and ported it to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch.
Yeah.
And now they take care of all of those, putting it on sale. So we're always on sale somewhere.
Wow.
And I don't have to do it. I just get the reports in from Team 17.
Yeah, and see the success.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the new game, we've connected with a different publisher, with Hooded Horse.
Okay.
In the States, and they're a smaller team, but they specialise in strategy games.
Right.
And they've had some massively successful games coming.
Yeah.
So
it's real unique challenges that, you know, there's no crossover really outside of your industry into others in Dunedin that I'm aware of.
Not a great deal. We have just heard that Dredge, which was made in Christchurch, has got a movie deal.
No.
They're going to be making a movie of the game Dredge, which is like mind-blowing. So
that's fantastic. Okay, so that's the next target. Is
I'm like,
have a movie.
How could our game make a movie? Yeah.
Wow.
Very exciting.
There's quite an awesome film and production sort of industry, cottage industry in some ways here. So,
yeah, that's right.
And lots of really awesome women involved in this industry too.
Yeah.
And that would be something unique for you to be a woman involved in this industry. And
to some degree, although here in Dunedin there's a lot of women in game development, because of course we've got Runaway headed by Zoe. And Emma and all those amazing, like I think I only know women at Runaway.
Yeah.
And then Atawhai is headed by Lisa Blakey, who of course is one of the lecturers also at Polytech.
Yeah.
And our company is majority women.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. But you are right, it is unique to Dunedin. Which brings me to your Dunedin story.
Sure.
Yeah. I love how our participants managed to do a little segue for me, which was great. So, Dunedin born and bred young lady?
Almost. Christchurch born, but we moved here before me and my twin brother were 1 year old. So
you're a Dunedinite then.
I'm a Dunedinite.
Yeah.
I think my parents made the right choice.
Yeah. No, it's a great place, and obviously you're running a business, you've had a career pathway, got a family here.
Yep.
Do you think Dunedin, outside of what we've just talked about, offers any other sort of additional benefits and bonuses for running a business and being a career woman like you are?
I think Dunedin is a very creative place, and I think it's not unexpected for people to be doing creative and exciting things. I think having the university be such a huge part of the town is a real bonus to people who are wanting to do different and exciting things, whether that be in the art space or in the science space. I know we've got some amazing kind of engineering, like there's one of the women that I meet with NZTE as the head of an engineering company and has recently won awards and so on. So I think, the fact that we're isolated makes us have to be creative. Yeah. And I love that.
Yeah, it makes it easier to connect.
Yeah. And we all know each other.
We do, exactly, 100%. Or it's 2 degrees of separation, isn't it?
I like saying that rather than 2 degrees of separation, you've always got 2 degrees of connection. So you meet someone and there'll always be like more than one way that you know each other.
Yeah.
So like you were talking before about our producer, Sarah.
Yeah.
And she came to work with us because her mum told me that she was looking for work, and then it turns out she's actually related to our first community manager, distantly they've got the same surname.
Dunedin thing, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, and she also knew our programmer's wife at school. They went to school together. You know, it's classic Dunedin.
Yes, and her dad is Craig from Watercooled Sports, who was one of our early participants.
So here we go. There's our 2 degrees of freedom. And you're friends with my friend Leslie. And,
Beautiful. It is a very special factor for Dunedin, and even for those that aren't from here and they come into Dunedin, they recognise that very quickly and they benefit from it as well.
Yeah, you get connected into people's networks and they're like, oh, I know so-and-so I can talk to, you know, if you're wanting to get things done.
No, we're happy to share those things. I mean, this is probably a question that keeps yourself or your husband awake at night, but changes within the industry and, you know, innovation and distribution models and go-to-market pathways and all of those things. Anything that you want to talk about there?
It's been really difficult for people in the industry in the last year and a half. There have been massive, massive layoffs across the world. They haven't really hit us here so much in New Zealand. I think there's a combination of factors from the reading that I've done. Partly it's people over-investing after the peak in game during the lockdowns. And then that corrected back to normal, and so they had over-invested, they had overhired. Partly it's the kind of business's normal greed cycle of what can we squeeze out of this moment and then just fling people to the wolves, basically. And that's not how I do business.
No.
Part of our ethos is sustainability as a company, and that means both environmentally but also in business practices. We want to work sustainably. We want to be giving people jobs for the long term. That means we won't try to grow too big. We won't allow our ambition to outstrip what we're capable of. We will stretch ourselves, and we are doing that now, but we're not in this for the money. We're in this because we love it.
Yeah, no, I love that too. So thinking about the supply chain for your organisation and the importance of authenticity, your workforce, where are they located? Who actually works for your organisation and creates your outcomes? So
the majority of us are here in Dunedin. There's 6 of us in the office or working from home in Dunedin if that suits them better. Then we've got a QA analyst in Christchurch. We've got our narrative designer in Auckland. And also our audio designer is in Auckland. He's on a contract. We've got our new community manager is working from Melbourne.
Wow.
We have a 3D artist in Poland and our composer is in the UK.
Wow. So you really are a global organisation.
Yeah.
At its heart, you've got Ōtepoti Dunedin.
That's right.
But that's fantastic. How do you coordinate all of team meetings?
I don't think we've ever had a meeting with all of those people in it.
No.
I have never heard Rafal's voice. He's the one in Poland.
Wow.
Actually, I don't think I've ever heard Benedict's either. He's the one in the UK. So we communicate majority via Discord.
Right.
We've got a Discord server and we have meetings in that. So it's got, video call capability.
Yeah.
And so we have daily stand-up meetings. Poor old Leah has to get up at 7:30 her morning time to be there for stand-up.
That's Melbourne lady.
That's Melbourne lady. But she just does that, and I think she kind of crawls back to bed for a bit and then gets up and starts a little bit later in the day.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm very determined about is that we work the job, not the hours. And we work a 4-day work week, 4-day work week. So we don't work Mondays. And that's to allow people time to refresh their creativity. Also makes it convenient when you're working with the UK and the US because they're behind us.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
A lot of flexibility. It's not easy.
No.
Making the remote people feel included, it's quite hard, but we do our best.
So Dunedin again, we'll come right back to the heart of part of why we're here. Let's say your man in Poland is coming over to visit and you want to give him a quintessential Dunedin experience. Where are you going to take him, Anna?
We've got to take him to do the wildlife stuff.
Yeah.
Orokonui. Yep.
Eco Sanctuary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Out along the peninsula. I'd love to take him on the Monarch.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still go. I remember doing that as a kid.
Yeah.
Just loving going up the harbour and going to see the albatrosses and the seals from a different perspective.
I am not entirely sure, but if they are, shout out to the Monarch.
Yep.
For creating great memories.
That's right. Oh, we would have to take him up to the organ pipes.
Oh, yes.
Because our game is all hexagon tiles, right?
Yeah.
And we've actually used those hexagonal basalt columns as a reference for our game.
Wow.
For how you can think of this as being the ground and the skin of a living creature, potentially, of our space whale. These kind of hexagonal columns of rock.
That's
so we have to
beautiful.
take him there to see what he's been basing his art off of.
Yeah. It's a real Dunedin connection to your game, isn't it?
Yep. And of course, our office is in South Dunedin, which I made the decision to set up there after working in South Dunedin in the medical centre. And it's great because we're surrounded by all these fantastic little international eateries.
Yeah.
So Hashi does a lot of our lunches, Hashi Japanese. And there's Asana Turkish kebabs, and there's Indian Spice Indian, and it's great.
You're
really
in the
great.
heart of the eclectic cuisine, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah. What about a local event? So you've got kids, but older.
Yeah.
What's always in the calendar unless we're told we have to stay at home?
Well, I can tell you the Midwinter Lantern Festival is actually the source of the inspiration for our games.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
another connection.
Another connection. So back in 2016, one of the lanterns that they had in the festival was this whale with a city on its back.
Yep.
And Sam turned to me and said, I just had a great idea for a game. And that's what we're making now. So that was the inspiration for this entire company, was that lantern in the Midwinter Festival.
Wow, Midwinter Carnival.
Yeah. We always do Thieves Alley, although it's a bit shrunk lately, but that's always,
it's a bit
especially for the mini donuts. But I've got a few like beautiful kind of vases and artworks and scarves and things out of the old Thieves Alley market day.
That's so awesome. Does Paul Smith know that Midwinter Carnival has been such a driving force behind the game that's gone global?
Well, he should.
He should, yeah. Shout out to Paul. Wow. That question that people find a bit tricky, but I believe you're prepared.
Hopefully.
If you were going to share a Spates or an Ocho hot chocolate or a glass of water with a Dunedin legend, they could be with us or they might have passed on already. Who would that be and why? Anna?
I did think about this, and I know exactly who I would love to meet, and that is Angela Burns,
Okay.
the artist. I think the majority of her pieces are like abstract landscapes, which are just these brush strokes of colour, and they are glorious. They just sing in my soul, and Leslie's got one in her living room.
Beautiful connection.
And it's the Green Acorn Cafe that used to be on the one way down near uni, and they had several of her artworks, and I have loved them. I've never managed to buy one yet. I want one, and I would love to talk with her about her process and like what's in her mind when she's creating these beautiful, beautiful canvases.
Yeah.
Because they're just so full of light.
Wow.
And the way the colours harmonise, and yet they're so peaceful. I love her work.
Thank you for sharing that. Very unique story, and I know that our post-production engineer is going to look forward to finding some of those pieces.
Fantastic.
And sharing that. A slightly new sort of segment, if you like, that we're introducing is some quick fire questions, just to get to the heart of who Anna really is.
Wow.
So we're going to start with beach, bush, or a spa day.
Beach.
Beach. You like the sand?
I love the ocean,
Yeah.
the sound of the waves. I love the expanse, like just talking about those landscapes. In fact, if you go into my living room, 3 of the pieces of art on the wall, I only realised afterwards, are images of the beach.
Right. You really do want to be surrounded by the beach.
Yep.
Cyndi Lauper or Taylor Swift?
Cyndi Lauper. Yeah. Old school.
Old school. Love it. Even though you look like you're about 20 years old.
That's only because you can't see the eye bags because I'm smiling.
Country music or classical?
Classical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently in the city choir. We just sang the St. John's Passion by Bach
Wow.
a couple of weeks ago, which was fabulous. And now we're working on a winter concert
Beautiful.
called Visions of Heaven, and it's all these kind of ethereal. We're singing a song about Matariki.
Oh, wow.
Stars by Eric Eschenbals. I love classical music.
Excellent. That's great. I know the answer to this because we've already talked about this, but coffee or tea?
Coffee, 100%.
Yeah.
Tea just tastes like dirty water.
Gumboots.
Yeah. Nasty.
I know the answer to this too. Morning person or night person?
Nighttime person, 100%.
Definitely an owl.
Yep.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction.
Yeah. Anything that you've read recently you want to share?
I've just discovered Lois McMaster Bujold.
Okay.
Who's a fantasy and science fiction author. I don't know why I'd never heard of her. She's won tons of awards.
Okay.
I've just read The Curse of Chalian, and I'm currently, or did I finish it? I've forgotten now. I think I finished it, Paladin of Souls, which is the second one.
Okay.
And there's a space trilogy of hers that I really want to read.
Awesome.
But also, if we're talking about my other genre, which is usually crime.
Yes.
Cozy crime. The Thursday Murder Club series are fantastic.
Like women in our 40s, we're all listening to crime podcasts and reading about crime, 100%. I haven't met somebody in my age range yet that isn't.
I like my crime to be cozy. I don't like it to be too gritty.
Okay.
So I tend to go for your Agatha Christie and Nio Marsh. Nio Marsh is the queen for me. So.
Fair enough. Hugs or a head nod?
Ooh, generally hugs.
Yeah. Hugs are coming back into fashion, I think.
Yay.
I've decided that
although it depends on the time of the month and how many other people I've had to talk to.
Oh, 100%. Don't touch me or look at me if I've been busy peopling.
Yeah.
100%. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Yeah. Diamonds or pearls?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Probably pearls.
Yeah.
Although not classic. My husband and I got rings made by Ian Henderson.
Oh, yes.
We have got our engagement rings, we both had them, updated for our 25th wedding anniversary, which was this year in January.
Again, how can you possibly be married for 25 years when you look 20?
I was 20 when we got married. So I'm actually just going to go along after this and pick up our new rings. So I'm really excited.
It's beautiful.
And they've got garnets in them.
Nice. So, shout out to Ian.
Yeah, his stuff is beautiful.
Summer or winter, Anna?
Well, summer if it was ever actually summer, but it isn't, so I'm going to go winter.
You have to get out of Dunedin, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah. City life or countryside?
Yes, city.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lazy for country life.
As long as there's a beach close by.
Yes, that's right.
Sweet or savoury?
Generally sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some good donut selections around Dunedin.
Mm-hmm.
Planner or spontaneous?
Mix of both.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yep, I make plans and then they fly out the window. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the gaming industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be really clearly planned, but things constantly change and you're never quite sure how something's going to take. So something that you might have planned to take 3 days will be done in half an hour. Yeah. Something that you thought would take half an hour, you get stuck in
3 days later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Netflix or a run?
Netflix. I don't run.
There's not many of us.
Lift weights though.
Ah, do you?
Yeah, I love going to the gym, especially bench press. That's my jam. It's my happy
beautiful.
Place.
Strong.
Yeah.
Sunrise or sunset?
Well, I'm not usually up for sunrise.
I haven't seen one of those for a while.
We have to go for sunset.
Fair enough. And the last one, comedy or horror?
Neither.
Neither?
No. I generally like things that are funny but not comedies. Science fiction and K-dramas. Those are my jams. So we're currently rewatching The Expanse, which is the best science fiction show I've ever seen. Okay. It even beats out Firefly.
On Netflix?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon, okay.
Yeah,
shout out.
The Expanse. Amazing. And they've just brought out a game of it too.
I think I know we've already covered this, but 2024, the rest of the year.
We're hoping to get to Germany for Gamescom, which is like the biggest games event in the world.
Right.
It's absolutely massive, and we want to get there and start looking at publishers for what the next thing is going to be. So we've got to start thinking about that. And there's Sam and I would really like to extend our time a little bit and, do a little bit of Europe, maybe Paris.
Alone?
The two of us. It would be so nice.
Brilliant.
We'll see what we can manage. And then, of course, there'll be Melbourne International Games Week and there's NZGDC, which I think is the same week. And I'll be looking to see if there's anything in Asia as well. But at the same time, I'm also currently as I said, I've taken on a second job. So I'm the fundraiser for the Rock Solid Youth Development Programs.
Oh, wow.
And I'm on the Straight Up Trust, so I'll also be, making sure that they keep ticking over.
Rock Solid has been around for a very long time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just late last year, their manager, Kristen Jack, passed away.
Okay.
It was really sad, and we've had to bring on like 3 people to cover all the things that he did.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those 3 people. So I do the writing the grant applications.
Right.
Since I've done that in a previous job, and it's not that dissimilar to,
No.
Business development type stuff. So.
I get the feeling you like to be kept busy.
I do.
Yeah?
I like to have a lot of different things on my plate, otherwise I get bored.
Yeah.
I only just figured out yesterday that I'm probably ADHD.
Yeah.
After doing a course.
We're doing a bit of self-diagnosis, aren't we?
Yeah. We have been, and my brother has been diagnosed, and he's like,
Leaning towards it.
leaning towards it. So I've just got to lean into it and go, actually, give me fun, give me novelty, give me things that'll make me want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been so lovely to meet you properly, Anna. I'm so excited about 2024 for you guys.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'd love to have you back again next year.
Thank you.
And then we can hear all about how the new game's going and where the inspiration has come from for the next one, because there's always going to be a next one.
There is. And if we get a movie out of it.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to just remind the community who you are and perhaps where they can find your games?
Sure.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Anna Barham from Balancing Monkey Games. You can buy Beyond the Stars on pretty much any platform, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. You can, not Beyond the Stars, Before We Leave. You can get Before We Leave on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC, and you can play it on the Mac as well. And then Beyond These Stars, you can wishlist it on Steam, and it'll be coming out.
And be the first to find out.
Yes.
100%. That's very exciting.
And if you're interested to keep up with the updates, they can come to our website, balancingmonkeygames.com, and sign up to the newsletter or join our Discord and be part of the discussion.
Fabulous. There's a whole lot of people that are going to be, what is Discord?
Oh!
There are. But go and hunt it out, folks.
Yeah,
because
Google Discord.
It is where the action's happening.
Yeah.
In the communications and the building of communities, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you again, and we'll see you next year.
Lovely. Thank you so much.